Hi everybody, it's Friday. Let me just get this like that. Hi everybody, it's Friday, and that means it's time for the news, narrated by me. My name's Lily. You guys can't even see my face. My hair is so crazy. I have to get a haircut. Hi, hi. Happy Friday. It's time for Lily's News. Welcome to Insane Games TV YouTube channel. This is where I go live every Friday at 5 p.m. and I tell you all about the news, all about the ish, all about the drama, the tea. I'm spilling it here for you live from the past week. Sometimes maybe even farther than that I just found out. So these are all the things that are important to me. If you're watching, let me know where you are watching from. And if you are watching on like when I'm not live anymore, thank you. That's very kind. I appreciate it. So let me open up my document here, and we are just going to get into some of the things. This week has been weird, right? This week has been weird. First of all, the weather is bonkers. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. The weather is insane. It is like my car thermometer on the way here. My car thermometer was reading 92. And if you don't know, we are in upstate New York, and I'm a bundle up type of girl. I have 3 layers on and my hands are still cold type of girl. If I don't have a hot drink, I'm not happy type of girl. So all of this happening so fast, I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to Mother Nature because she is going through it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about weather stuff later, but let's get into it. Okay, so the thing happened over the week, and I screamed a scream that I don't even know. And I had to kind of reel myself back in to fully understanding what I just watched, why I watched it, why it was everywhere, and why everyone was talking about it. I had to do a think and then a double think. You know, when you rewrite a paper, I had to rewrite my thoughts because I was confusion. I was confused, and it was concerning, and I immediately had a flood of thoughts that I'm sure everyone had. I mean, I've heard many people talk on the topic, so which is actually kind of good because I'm able to kind of broaden where just I was thinking and also do some actual research into cultural normities. So of course, we are covering the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama was just being an oddball, little quirky old man, you know. So the Dalai Lama is the Dalai Lama hit the circuit. So I'll just read what I wrote because I wrote it and I rewrote. Okay, so he was being weird. It was gross immediately from an American born and raised. I'm here to stay. American 30-year-old woman. God, to say I'm 30. I'm in my 30s. Gross. So from the culture and normalcies and the way that me and my surroundings have been raised and exist and the cultural aspects of our current society, it was gross. Now, it wasn't cool and it wasn't very Lama-esque, you know? So a few months ago, this happened. The Dalai Lama was speaking to a crowd, and a young boy really wanted to meet the prophet and was able to approach and, you know, was like, can I have a hug? Huggies. And the boy just wanted to hug the man. And, you know, the Dalai Lama is known to be the 14th reincarnation of the Dalai Lama. He holds the highest position in Tibet. He has been the Dalai Lama since 1940. Mind you, he was born in 1935. So his job is to advocate for the people, but now he doesn't advocate. Originally he was all about like, I'm advocating for the people and we want freedom and we want like separation from China, right? But now he focuses on the middle way. But of course, before the middle way, he wanted the independence, the Tibetan independence. And I'm sure a lot of you guys who maybe grew up in like the 80s and 90s remember like the Tibetan independence movement was like it was getting a lot of coverage. And it was a lot of the information was coming back into America, and we were all talking about it. We were talking. We were having conversations. I remember as a kid, the conversations like in car rides, you know, with my parents and family, talking about Tibet. So yeah, but now he focuses on the middle way, and that's the people's. So he advocates a People's Republic of China, to give Tibetans religious, cultural freedom and a solid national identity. And China gets the motherland is ours type of aspect in this kind of deal that he wants. But of course, the creation of good international relations and like safe borders, peaceful borders, and all of that is a goal as well. So back to the boy and the llama. Back to the boy and the Dalai Lama. So the boy walks up, says, "Can I give you a hug?" He's so cute. This little guy. Oh man, kids are cute. It was adorable. And of course, the Dalai Lama was like, "Yes, come give your Dalai a hug." I shouldn't. I don't want to offend, but gosh, man, this video has just been everywhere and just. Okay, you guys know how I am. So the boy walks up, says, "Can I give you a hug?" And the Dalai Lama is like, "Come on, give me the hugs. Give me all the hugs." And mind you, the Dalai Lama is speaking to a group of like school age kids. Like he's speaking to younger humans. And the Dalai Lama gives him a hug, bows down, they touch foreheads. It's very sweet, very meaningful, and they have a normal, friendly, religious entity and young boy lip kiss. And I know, let me stop you there. I know you're probably really sad about. Hold on. Everything okay?
Yeah, it was just really quiet.
Oh, okay. I was like, I could talk louder.
Something in the actual setting got messed up.
Oh no. Okay, cool. Thanks. So let me see. Okay, so they touch foreheads, and the Dalai Lama shares a mouth kiss. I kept writing lip kiss, a mouth kiss, and I want to, like, before you jump to conclusions, I know you're probably uncomfortable there at that point, and North American culture doesn't really support this action. Religious prophet, or especially religious prophets, we have been burned by this type of scenario way, way, way too many times to even count, which is terrifyingly sad. That what's normal in one culture is actually like the first step into a really, really bad situation for young children, especially boys in the religious sect here in America. But in Tibet, a friendly lip kiss, I don't know why I kept writing lip kiss, a friendly mouth kiss is not uncommon. So continuing on, the Dalai Lama takes a beat, stares at the child, and strongly says in English, which is not his first language, by the way, obviously, and suck my tongue. Sticks his tongue out for the boy to lean in and expected the child to then do so. And it was at this point where I said, all right, we're going to hit pause real quick. I'm going to need a moment to think and kind of gather my thoughts. That was at a moment I can get past. God, it sounds terrible. I can get past an 87-year-old kissing a little boy. No, that's not that. There's also many like grandparent, grandchild relationships where there is mouth kissing, and it's not like a French kissy make out thing like that, but it's just, lips touch lips, and it's kind of like the unification of, like love just in general, like a broad spectrum of love. but it was at the tongue sucking that I needed to take a beat myself. And so I wanted to cover kind of a bunch of angles where my brain went, because my brain is scattered. Like my single brain cell split into 18 and just went all different directions. So I have two angles here. And the very American in me was quick to be like, yuck, shame, gross, terror, I'm sickened, like I want to throw up. And then the non-judgmental, open-minded American in me said kind of yuck. Yeah, kind of yuck. Definitely inappropriate. I know that there are cultural differences, and that in Tibetan culture, sticking one's tongue out is, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going? How are you? What's going on? Good to see you. Good day. And it comes from, actually, I looked this up to kind of see where it came from, because that's kind of just kind of in general like a different thing. You know, it wasn't a very normal. Don't want to say normal and describe them as abnormal, but it was unusual. And so I looked it up, and it's actually from like, supposedly it's a myth. And in the 9th century, there was a king who no one liked. No one liked him, and he had a black tongue. So no one liked this dude. And so to make sure you are not a reincarnation, because reincarnation is a culturally wide belief in their culture. God, I'm an idiot. I can't believe they let me do this. And so sticking their tongue out to make sure their tongue isn't black, because if it was, they'd be a reincarnation of this dude that no one liked. So stick it out, make sure it ain't black. And so that's kind of where it developed. It's a myth, but I'm sure there's some kind of fact to support why, and it probably is based in like the development of this myth. But tongue sucking between an 87-year-old man and a school-aged young boy, that ain't nothing. That ain't known over there. That's not a thing. That is not on the list of cultural identity markers. So, and I want to remind you, this happened in February, and it's just started, I guess, this past week, to gain traction on the interwebs. And unfortunately, it is being politicized here in the States. For what gain? Unknown. Not a fan of that. I think it's a fine conversation to have. And I think it's a good conversation to have, and I think it's actually a good reminder for those of us in a religious realm here in the United States to, yes, you can have your books and your things and etc., but also be protective of your little babies, right? Like, those people take advantage. And I'm not saying that the Dalai Lama took advantage of this young boy in particular, but it's a good reminder for those of us in the States to protect your children while in a religious setting, because people are people, and the person that is in front of all the people is not the whoever you're praying to, right? So, protect your babies, and the Dalai Lama's media, because it's not him. The Dalai Lama is not pulling out his iPhone 14 and going on Twitter, made a little slick notes app apology, and it was basically like, I want to apologize to the boy and his family. Like, I didn't mean any harm. I'm a jokester. I like cracking jokes. I like the goofs and the gags. So, you know, take that. It is what it is, right? It is what it is, and unfortunately, it was not good looking. But I also want to say, after it happened, the Dalai Lama, a lot of the videos that you see on the internet cut off there after the tongue sucking moment. It actually continued on, and he had a good it wasn't a conversation. He said some nice things to this young boy to remind this young boy to stick with the people who love and support and are good and kind and nice, and stay away from those who do the murders and that are bad people, and just a gentle reminder, like, you have a choice on the path that you take, and so choose wisely, because the earth, the world depends on each, especially young people, choosing a path that is of least destruction. I don't want to say least resistance, because there's a lot of resistance in a path of goodness. I'm sure the Dalai Lama could attest to that. But there is a lot that goes into one's mentality when you kind of realize you have chosen a path of goodness, of kindness, and to make it a point in your day-to-day life to not be a jackass. You know what I'm saying? Or a murderer. So what do you think? Was the Dalai Lama just having a little fun, or was it dangerous? And is this like a deal breaker for you? And what a lot of people weren't talking about, and I don't want this to sound like, well, she said he's done good things, so we can just ignore the fact that he wanted to suck someone's tongue. No, I think that he's got to sit with that, and I hope that young boy can understand, and hopefully get some kind of mental, emotional conclusion to what happened. And it's not our apology to accept. It's up to that young boy and his family. But the Dalai Lama, socialist, vegetarian, animals are not vegetables is something that he says all the time. Like, animals are not vegetables. Like, they feel, they breathe. I'm not a vegetarian, but he's very nonviolent, and he's made it clear that in this new world that we're kind of existing in, since he's been around since 1935, that you can be violent towards someone, especially with like a pew-pew, if it's in self-defense and you do not protect yourself by the means of ending the other person's life, which is, different cultures, different ideals. I get it. Fatality shouldn't be the end goal when it comes to protecting yourself, but everyone can have their thoughts and opinions. I'm just telling you what he thinks. He was not a fan of gay people. He was not a fan of sex in general. Obviously, he's abstaining. He's not about that life. Obviously, he's abstaining. But he listened and he learned, and he was there in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. And there was a conversation that he had with someone, and it was very much like a gay man asked him, like, hey, like, what do you think about me being gay? And it turned into, are you hurting anybody? No. How does your partner feel? Is it consensual? Do you continue to lead a good, kind life, leaving a good imprint onto the world that supports you? And he's like, all right, get cheeky with it. Thumbs up, consent. I was so tired when I wrote this. I should be ashamed. But honestly, that's just the gist of it, That's just the gist. Man, but that was a roller coaster for us. That was a roller coaster on the internet. Everywhere you looked, it was all about the Dalai Lama, how he wanted some kid to suck his tongue. And that was heartbreaking, because the Dalai Lama, current Dalai Lama, is literally in Tibetan culture the chosen one. He is in control. Like, he is the chosen man of the people for life. Since a baby boy. Wild. That was insane. That was crazy. I'm sure the Dalai Lama will continue to speak, and I'm sure the Dalai Lama will continue to project his very kind monk viewpoints. But has the world, I don't want to say that, has time evolved from that level of commitment? I don't know. That's a good question to ask yourself. But you can comment and tell me what you think. I want to know. Let's talk about Tesla. We have an update From last Friday's show, I talked about how Tesla employees since 2019 were sharing content, pictures, and videos that Tesla's captured from their cameras, because Tesla has cameras all around, all around the car, so that it can like self-drive or just kind of like dash cam views for accidents and whatnot. Can we just talk about ever since maybe 2016, I have been obsessed with dash cam videos. Like I could sit down and watch probably straight uninterrupted 45 minutes of like dash cam videos, crashes, and instant karmas. Like it's amazing. It is amazing. And I don't know, and it comes and goes, like it comes in waves. It's the ebb and flow of the dash cams. But when I don't watch it, then I have to catch up. So the other day, there I was, just chilling, just relaxing. I found a moment for myself in my day. And hi Glenn, how are you? And I was just enjoying peacefulness. And there I go, popping up whatever it is, dash cams with, you've seen them, drivers or whatever. 45 minutes later, 3 videos down. Wow. But it was enlightening. And I get so enraged. I'm just like, oh my God, it's a green light. Like, he had the red. So, that's my life. But anywho, back to Tesla. Glenn, how are you? Is it hot? Are you hot? Glenn, are you hot? Glenn, it's like 90 degrees here and I am not okay. I'm not okay. I don't know if I will make it. So let me, so 2019 to 2022. Henry it's Y-E-H. I do not want to mispronounce the name. I am so sorry, so I'm going to stick to Henry. Filed the suit on behalf of all Tesla owners nationwide. Invasion of privacy. So Tesla employees claimed that the content from the cameras did get shared with all of the information that was not supposed to be attached to it. Addresses, street names, states, zip codes, first and last names, phone numbers, information attached to the content that those cameras picked up that the employees were sharing with other employees and memeing on, and like jokes and ha-ha-has and the giggles and the pointings and the private moments that people are expecting to be private shared amongst these randos. And half of them are like, nah, I wouldn't buy a Tesla. Like, I wonder why. Okay. And so the whole shebang was shared. Cars were off, cameras were recording intimate moments, the cars were on, the employees were sharing accident videos. It's a nightmare. So people, gross. It's a major invasion of privacy. And so Henry claims now Tesla owners have 2 options: to continue being peeped on or disable the cameras, which makes a self-driving car, probably one of the reasons why you bought a Tesla in the first place, no longer a self-driving car because it's blind. You can't drive blind. And so, I mean, I sometimes drive a little blind at night. Anyone else have nighttime problem? Man, these lights are so bright. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the bright ass lights. So anywho, back to Tesla. Also, if you take the cameras and disable them, warranties, bye-bye. Also, who has an extra however many dollars it's going to take for some other company, car place, to turn those cameras off? Tesla's not going to do it. you can't trust them. They're already breaking your trust. Are you really going to go there? Okay. So anywho, the suit is claiming intrusion upon seclusion, negligence, breach of contract, negligent misrepresentation, intentional misrepresentation, and unjust enrichment. So it's going to be very interesting because everyone and their mother around here has a Tesla, or at least it feels like it. And y'all getting jiggy with it in/near your car. Dirty birds. Dirty birds. These car lights, okay, so I got so mad one day that these headlights on cars are getting way too bright. I mean, these suckers will find you miles away, miles away. And so there I was with the internet at my fingertips, right? Why? Well, there's actually a few things. There's actually a few things. They may not actually be getting brighter, someone said, which I disagree with. These LED bulbs are like stronger. Also, the glass that's used on these new vehicles in front of the bulbs is getting like clearer and shinier and like more reflective and like smoother, so the light just kind of shines through them even better than, if you find like an old like Corolla. It's like matte. you know Also, cars are getting taller. The hoods of cars are getting like higher. You got like the Jeeps and all the crossovers. So the way that my bank account's set up, so the way everything kind of sits is kind of getting higher and closer to the eye line of someone driving a car, or the mirror that is going to reflect it back into the side of your eye, and then you're blind. If you got a bright ass light coming at you being reflected from your side mirror into your eyeball, and then you're also on the highway and you have a line of cars, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I refuse to drive at night. I can't do it. It's too much. Also, they said that I could just be getting old, so it was kind of offensive, but there's a lot that goes into it. And there's a lot of people that are like really wanting to get down to the nitty gritty, and people are actually kind of asking the internet, like, how do I dim my lights? Because people have told me that they're too bright. But when you buy a car, you don't change the bulb. You don't put a brighter bulb into the car. You have the car and it comes with the bulb. Anyway. That's insane. But in the realm of updates from last week, we talked about Madeleine McCann and Julia Faustino, who was claiming to be Madeleine McCann. And we have an update from that. Last week we found out that Gintrell. Last week we found out that the DNA test for Julia was negative. It was not her. She was not her. She is not her. She will never be her. But what we didn't see was Julia's response, Fia's response. But we got that this week. And actually, let's go. Oh, if you don't know Madeleine McCann, she was a young girl in 2007. She was 3 years old. She was stolen from an apartment that her parents were staying at while on vacation in Portugal. Her parents and her parents' friends, there was another family there, were out to dinner like around the corner, and they were periodically checking on the kids. And around 10 o'clock, they realized that Madeleine was found not in her bed. So here's the thing. I would like to show you Julia's, how do I say this? Julia's statement, I guess, that she actually made on Facebook. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 screenshots long. And I scrolled, don't worry, took a shit, all of that. It talks about why she came about to create a social media account. I am Madeleine McCann on Instagram. She also claims that she actually meant to say, am I Madeleine McCann? Because throughout this whole thing, everyone's like, you're claiming to be Madeleine McCann, and she would say like, yes, but if I'm not, maybe I'm somebody else that's missing, because I definitely don't belong where I am. But now she's claiming in her statement that she never meant to say I am Madeleine McCann. She just said I am question, am I her? Is me her? She's having a hard time. Anyone who writes something that long on Facebook, after already going on the Dr. Phil show, after already doing interviews with Fia and herself, after months and months and months of expelling all of the thoughts and opinions and the steps that you've taken all over social media, after saying all of that, after putting it all into the world of the internet, after having Reddit pages, after having, Instagrams and TikToks, all kind of talking about you, focusing on you, pulling out this story, trying to figure out if it is true or not, you still have all this to say. It was kind of a rehashing of what was happening, but also it's very defensive. Also, English is not her first language, so I can understand how it might come off as defensive. English is a very defensive language. It is really easy to sound defensive in English while speaking English. Sometimes I do it to myself, but it's sad overall. It's sad. There was a statement made on behalf of the McCanns, and they were like, look, if there's any information, it's going to come from the investigators. It's not going to come from the Dr. Phil show. It's not going to come from some random person, and I'm not saying that she's just some random person, but to the McCanns, she is just some random person. And they've been there before. They've done that. They've been through the whole, I'm Madeline, all that nonsense. So, yes. So over the past couple of months, Julia grew an audience on social media. They all heard her. They were listening to her. They were criticizing her. They were telling her what to do, how to do this, when to do this. They were there. They were an active audience. They were they were there. They were pulled right in. Hey, Ronnie, what's going on? They were pulled right in to her story. And unfortunately for Julia, her story doesn't end with being Madeline. I hope that her story doesn't end here. I hope that she's able to go find happiness and peace and joy in her life. And I understand that it's going to be difficult, especially going through this is traumatizing. And I know that she kind of chose it, but this in itself, this whole experience of her social media, Fia, clearing everything out, going on the Dr. Phil show, finding out she's not her, and then having to defend herself to all of the internet. That's traumatizing. I've been there on the internet, on different networks, of having to defend myself, but also not appeasing the she's gonna pull the woman card or whatever like that. It's a very fine line of defending oneself. And it's difficult, it's hard, and it's scary, and it's traumatizing. It takes a toll on your mentality, and as someone who is already kind of down, she put herself in a position to continue to get kicked while she was down, and so I feel for her. She wanted to do something for herself, and she got taken advantage of by Fia. She got taken advantage of by Dr. Phil. She shouldn't have been on the show. It was all just sad. And it makes me feel for her. So I wish her the best of luck. But hopefully she can move on with her life and start getting into a place where having the best of luck is not having to deal with any more of this. I was going to read some of it from the phone, but I don't think it's necessary. And of course, in my document, we of course have to talk about the Bud Light scandal. Ugh, the juicy Bud Light tea definitely doesn't taste like piss. So before we talk about the reaction and the reaction and the songs and the new products that came from this whole Bud Light shit, let's talk about Dylan Mulvaney. So Dylan is a transgender human. She's a human. She just recently celebrated, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to be wrong, just about probably now over a full year of womanhood, so congratulations. As a woman for over 30 years, congrats. I am an ally, I am a supporter, and I'm a fighter for the rights of humans, all humans, every single one of them. Human rights are very important, and that's just my stance. And Dylan recently went through some gender reaffirming procedures. So she was posting with filters on her face, and while she was like healing and stuff, and she did a face reveal, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, we love you!" And she's just a quirky, cute little human. You know, she's just, "Hi, I'm just sharing this with you. Like, this is my life. I'm doing this. If you want to come along with me, I also look at all these cute little things." You know, like she's just there. Like she's just a nice, kind person. She's not throwing any shade. She's not throwing any hate. She's not talking bad about anybody. She's just sharing her life on the internet. So she has millions of followers all over social media. I wonder why. Maybe because she's like good. Good vibes, good energy, you know? And like many brands, Bud Light said, "Cool, you're nice and fun. Here's some cans with your face on them. Want to do a video?" And Dylan's like, "Of course, sweet, put it on TikTok." And a certain group of people lost their ever-loving shite over it. I mean, gone off the deep end with caring way too much about what is or is not underneath someone's skirt. Like, damn, calm down. So please go read a book. Like, if you had a negative reaction to it, just go read a book. Like, just leave, step away, put your phone down, step away. Think about what actually matters here. But anywho, so let's go through some of the reactions. The main one that sticks with me, and I didn't even want to like really dig into anyone else's other reactions, really, but I'll talk about some of them. So Kid Rock, y'all remember that man? That happened, and he's still here on Earth. Kid Rock took an automatic rifle and emptied the magazine while aiming for 3 large cases. I don't know if they were 30 racks or something like that. 3 large cases of Bud Light. He missed 2 of them, but he got one. He got the middle one down. And like, we get it. You're all of the phobics. Cool. Like, you don't have to tell us. Like, you don't have to tell us with a gun. You could just say, "Hey, I qualify under the label of blank phobic." just say it out loud. It's fine, because it's easier, and it's just easier. Just say it, you know. But never mind. It's just so funny. It's just such a wild reaction to a freaking beer can. So, people started saying, "Go woke, go broke." That phrase, that it rhymes. Sure, I mean, it's 4 words, and 2 of them are the same. So, lyrical geniuses, and I hate it because people who are saying that they don't even know the definition of woke. Mind your business, stay in your own lane. And then the F Bud Light song appeared all over the tweeters. It's a thing, yes. So one of the lyrics is, "Fuck Bud Light, gender reassignment switching P's with V's." P's and V's, excuse me. I want to quote them correctly. It's a classic. Fake news, always spreading disease like 2 queers with HIV. I mean, oh my God. Tupac, where? You know what I'm saying? Like, get it. What? The epitome of absolutely disgusting. These poor dunce of men will get theirs, and that's the world. And could you imagine real quick? Could you imagine like Ariana Grande, Adele, Beyonce, who's another good one? Justin Timberlake, right? Writing a song bashing someone for being gay. Could you imagine? Like, they would be utterly destroyed by the world. Like, how dare you? But these 2 dudes, bros, these 2 alphas, wearing Blacks for Trump t-shirts. That's what they said. That's what the t-shirt said. You can see the video online. Dancing in front of an American flag. Too large. It's too big. The flag is too big. That's what they did with their weekend. And man, did they do it. They did it. Yeah, they did it. I don't like it here. So not all reactions were bad though. George Takai tweeting, "I've never wanted a Bud Light more. Stan, we love the man." Young adults were posting all over the internet. You found your audience, as they were like, "What is it where you poke the hole and you? What is it?" I don't even know what it is. Where you poke the hole in the can and you open it. What is that called? I don't know. It's not. I haven't had an alcoholic drink in like 3 years. I don't even know what it's called. Anyway, you guys know. You poke the hole and you down the beer. And I thought that was great. And I think it's a great way to not just outright support Dylan, but to say, those people exist. Shotgunning. Thank you. Shotgunning. Funny. That's so funny. I've never done that. Now I kind of want to, but like with a seltzer. I think those types of videos where it's like, hey, you found your audience, like those types of things are a great way to not just support Dylan and to send that subtle reminder, like, you're not hated by everybody, but to also send to maybe those around you, those that may see it, those in your community, to say, this is how we respond to this. You got a bonfire, and you picked up Bud Lights instead of I wanted to call them Red Claws. What are they called? Oh my god, my brain is absolutely destroyed. They're not Red Claws. This is embarrassing. White Claw. White Claws. That type of thing. I also wanted to mention that Bud Light, or rather Anheuser-Busch, the parent company that creates Bud Light, is considered one of the most LGBTQ friendly companies long before this happened. So this is where it really, like, I was like, stop tickling me, Karma. It was, Anheuser-Busch has always been, I wouldn't say always, but Anheuser-Busch has been there in support of not just the LGBTQIA community, but like all of the diminished communities. Beer is beer, and like, they want everyone to buy it. They don't want to just single out an audience they want everyone to buy their beer. Like, that's the point of a company. Like, you want everyone to buy your product. I don't care what you do or who you are or how you got there or why you're there. I want your money. So, but they have been a big supporter. Events like Pride, receiving a perfect 100 score from the Human Rights Campaign's annual Corporate Equality Index in 2015, and became one of the first major beer brands with LGBTQ plus inclusive advertising in 1995. In the 1900s, Anheuser-Busch was right there supporting the community. Okay? Oh, God, it makes me... it makes me want to scream. According to the 1999 fact check by the website Snopes, it was very heavily advertised of them supporting in magazines that were specifically tailored to the LGBTQIA community. But in 1995, in the 90s, it's a step in the right direction, okay? Well, you have to take everything with a grain of salt, especially when you're in 2023 and you're looking back, you're like, they were doing something that so many other companies weren't. And also, the brand also made waves in 2016 advertising campaign featuring brand ambassador Joe Rogan and Amy Schumer attending a wedding between two same-sex partners in celebration of a Supreme Court decision legalizing same-sex marriage. Okay, so there were threats to boycott, but everyone started drinking it again. And this is going to blow over, and everyone's going to find the next thing to just be so angry about, while, I don't know, having failed marriages themselves. I don't know. It's a thing that I just can't get over. It's so funny. And if these people are so upset about a transgender woman's face on a can, Where were they for the rainbow battles? I'm just saying, like, it's a little late. Like, it's a little late in the game to be. Anywho, but let's talk about the Conservative Dad Ultra Right beer. Oh my god. It's just, these are funny reactions, and I hate that they, like, turn out to be, like, some random, like, politically motivated reaction. Like, it doesn't make any sense, and I don't like talking about politics. I do try to stick to, like, more tech stuff here, but I had to talk about this. I had to talk about it. Okay, Conservative Dad Ultra Right beer is the thing that what I would assume to be a crazy person created. If you'd like to try this beer, it'll only cost you $20 for 6 cans. Pretty cheap, right? Okay. This beer will also be made by another company because the brand that's selling this does not make the beer. They have to be, like, contracted out, right? And it's not like he's not brewing it and canning it in his basement. But it will be contracted out to a Northern Illinois company that brews out of Northern Illinois. What's that? I wonder what's up there, Chicago? It's just so funny. I don't know, one of the bluest cities in the country. So most likely made by a company that in, like, the down line is potentially owned by Anheuser-Busch, which is so funny. So that's that. I don't want to, like, sit on it for too long, but that was a thing that happened, and I had to remind myself to just laugh at the face of stupidity, because it's a roller. It can really, like, you could really get, like, engulfed in the whole thing of it. And I think Dylan, and I think she even mentioned just kind of recently, like yesterday or the day before, she's an easy target for these types of people. She's new to this. Someone who's been in the game and maybe transitioned 10, 15 years ago would have been able to, I don't know, come back with something super gripping, and I don't know, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that any person other than what they would have wanted on the can would have gotten the same treatment. Just the levels in the energy would have just been adjusted. And it really breaks my heart that Dylan got this amount of hate towards her over a can that she didn't even make, right? Like there's so much hate being spewed toward this person for literally no reason. No reason. There's no reason. There's no good reason for it, and it's sad. So I hope that she has a good support system around her, and I hope that she has someone that she can talk to, or multiple people that she can talk to, and I hope that she has developed a thick enough internet skin. It takes a while. Sometimes it's faster for others, but so I hope that she's developed a thick enough internet skin, and won't let this affect her, because slay queen. Let's see. Florida flooded, and that was wild. Did you guys? Okay, so Florida flooded, and Florida did what Florida does, and Florida did exactly what we would expect Florida to do in a flooding situation. Not give a damn. Like, just continue to get in their cars and just drive and, like, float away into lakes and ponds. I don't understand. Florida, there was feet, like, you got 2 feet of rain in hours, like a short amount of time. Fort Lauderdale Airport closed 40 hours. 40 hours because the airport was a lake. You could swim from plane to plane. It was insane, and Florida's just like, no big deal. But ma'am, your Corolla is floating away and you're still inside. I don't get it. Watching, just like kind of scrolling through TikTok yesterday and the day before, you'd see all the live streams of people like streaming out their windows and seeing all the cars like moving. Like, why are you moving? Like, why are you in your car? Why are your lights on? Where are you gonna go? Everywhere is underwater. Man. Toyotas were not waterproof as they expected. People were literally out there driving into lakes and ponds because they didn't know any better. People were like, oh, this is a road, right? No, ma'am, you're in a lake. Like an actual, like before it was flooded, it was still a lake. I I can't. And now it's like 100 degrees up north, and I would love some rain. That would be nice. I couldn't believe it. When I saw that, I was mind blown. Let's see. I still have things. I still have things to cover. I can't stand people though. Thank goodness for all the supporters out there. Yes, I'm so happy that Dylan has the support that she does, because if it was a smaller creator, that it was more kind of like a random thing, then I think that would have been really, really dangerous. And the thing is, everyone making the go woke, go broke comments or whatever to like a major extent, like Ollie London, I don't even want to talk about that man, don't, or they're reacting, but they don't understand the repercussions, even though they're the ones speaking about the repercussions of their actions. And I thought it was very, very shameful. I still debate if I ever want to visit Florida. I have a very good friend who moved to Florida a while ago. God, maybe like a year or so ago. She's been down there a while now. And I tell her to just come back. Come back to New York, please. I'm concerned, and there's too much on top of the weather going on in Florida for, like, I don't know. I don't like it. It's not my vibe. I went there once and I will never go back. Sorry, Florida. It's not you, it's me. It's you. The Last of Us. You guys remember when I talked about The Last of Us every single week for over 2 months? I do. Well, The Last of Us has been, the cast and crew, showrunners have been doing the interview circuits. They're getting ready to start filming season 2. And the question is Joel, spoiler alert, if you don't know The Last of Us, is Joel going to make it through season 2 alive or not? Will he meet the fate that he meets in the game? And it has been said by the showrunners that they do not feel constrained by the game, giving us a possibility, some hope that maybe Joel will survive and not have his head crushed. Yikes. He dies a really, really gruesome death. And I mean, that would be very interesting to see what they do with that. But season 2, are they ready for that? I don't know. But we'll find out. So I'm really excited. I hope that they take liberties. I hope they really dig deep into these characters in season 2. I really hope that we get like a lot of the relational aspects, and I would love to see way more clickers, please and thank you. And I hope that Joel doesn't die, at least not right away, because everyone's like, I don't know, episode 2 maybe. I hope he doesn't. So and if I'm still here on Insane Games TV when season 2 comes out, I'll talk about it. So let's circle back to the Netflix. Remember when I talked about Netflix and their games? Netflix has downloadable games, so you can download games from if you have Netflix, you can get their games. Oh my god. Okay, so I downloaded, which one? Scriptic Crimes something. I don't even know what it's called. You can't see the full name. Why do they do that? It is a Netflix game made by Netflix, and you are a detective and you have to solve a murder. I highly suggest if you have Netflix, download that game immediately. There's pictures, you call people, you text people, chef's kiss. Immediately was obsessed. Immediately, the production value into it, just into the intro of the game, I was like, wow, good job, keep it coming. So I hope that people understand that Netflix has games, because at first I didn't, and I'm definitely going to be playing this a lot this weekend, probably before like Community Day. Is it Community Day? I think it's Community Day on Pokemon Go this weekend, and like after, I will be playing this game. It's gonna take over a full day. I'm very, very, very excited. It's fantastic. It's so good. And of course, let's round it out. Last couple minutes here. with Mr. Beast in the same realm. I mean, I feel like these weeks kind of gather up a theme. So in the same realm of Bud Light having a scandal for no reason, Mr. Beast is in the news because his friend Chris Tyson, who has been getting HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy to transition, has claimed that it saved their life. I'm going to use they, them pronouns for Chris because I'm not 100% clear if they prefer he or just maybe strictly non-binary. So I'm just going to stick with they, them. And unfortunately, Chris works side by side with Mr. Beast, very close knit, one of the top crew, buddies in the Mr. Beast world. And immediately, so Mr. Beast is the biggest entertainer, like the biggest content creator that has ever graced the planet Earth, and we bow down to his presence. And Mr. Beast's right hand man at the time found that they wanted hormone therapy. They wanted to transition. They wanted to experience the world in a different body than what they were given, in a different form, in a different way. And since Mr. Beast has this insane amount of followers, like millions upon millions upon millions of followers and viewers, immediately they were inundated with, this is bad, and oh, congratulations, we're happy for you. Like, cool, good, glad you're happy. The two sides immediately came battle royale style on Twitter, on Instagram, and all the things, and videos came out on how Chris is going to be Mr. Beast's worst nightmare, and blah, blah, blah. And finally, after Chris is like, hey, this is what I needed to survive. And yes, I'm married, and yes, I have a family, and yes, those things still exist, and now I'm happy. Like the basics of humans, and that's what you want. That's what you want. You want to be happy. Why refuse that for somebody else? Why try to at least do what you can, do everything in your power to make it so that they don't feel it? It's so I don't get it. I just don't get it. So Mr. Beast finally came out and said, look, Chris is not my worst nightmare. Chris is my friend, and I'm not doing this. Like, you guys need to shut it down. Shut it down. Cut it out, which I thought was great. And I hope Mr. Beast continues to keep that same energy up when it comes to his friend Chris and their transition, their new life, the new day that Chris will hopefully be able to experience once the internet finds something else to hyperfixate on. I just can't believe that someone saying, like, this is what I need, like, I need this, and I'm grateful to be able to have this, and then people being like what? It doesn't make any sense. There were some other things that happened, NPR, PBS, Twitter, all the things, Elon being a jerk. God, I hate him. But these were just the things that kind of took over. They took a hold on me, and I needed to know, and I needed to kind of break them down to help me understand why people are acting so crazy. Is it the weather? Is it the moons? Is it because, like, we're finally free? Well, I don't want to say finally free, but is it because we no longer are, like, held down by the restraints of COVID? Like, what is going on? Shit is crazy. Absolutely absurd. But anywho, that's that. That's Friday. It's hot, and people are bonkers, man. Just absolutely bonkers. Kid Rock. Lame. Lame. L. Kid Rock took a real L with that one. More like grandpa. Anywho. Alright, well, I will will see you guys next Friday. I hope you have a fantastic weekend and a fantastic week. If you don't, stop it. Those are my rules. I have things happening that I'm really excited about, and I hopefully maybe could tell you guys about them soon. But other than that, I hope you stay safe, stay well, enjoy the weather. They said maybe snow next week, so who knows what's actually going to happen. The world's a mess and everything's broken. All right, we will see you next Friday.